Yeah, here we go, folks. Get ready for a great show. It's Friday. You know what deal is. What's up, everyone? How about that picture right there? This guy is ultimately got the best personality. We're excited to introduce him. I'm pumped up. We got some great people on the show today. We got the usual team of Brad and Owen up in the house. What's going on, guys?
What's up? What's up?
Man, so this guest we have today, are you guys excited or what?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Matt's awesome. He's one of my good friends, been a longtime friend in the industry, but more importantly, he's one of the smartest digital guys that I've had the chance of knowing, and we jam a lot just about strategy, kind of what's going on in the market, and those calls turn into a pretty fun 30, 40 minutes pretty easily. So I'm excited today. We might go all day here if we with him on the show. So
I'm super excited too, man. And this guy, he has such a repertoire of just amazing things, but he's into this digital, this marketing. He knows what's going on. He is with a great group and he knows how to turn it on. One thing I do love is that he's going to bring some information that can actually show people how to do and manage their networking and their marketing right now in fixed ops. So I'm pumped up about that. I'm excited to hear some of these tips that he may have. What do you think about that, Brad?
Yeah, I think that there's two guys when you're thinking about guys in automotive that are really, really, really good at dad jokes, and that's Matt Raymond and Dusty Sutherland. So if you haven't ever followed Matt on social media and you see his dad jokes, he has that personality that's hilarious. But that's why his team and people who come across him and the people that he helps out loves him so much.
Absolutely. Dad jokes. And you're right. Dusty, shout out to Dusty, because Dusty Sutherland's got some great dad jokes too. I tried to throw a couple of dad jokes in our little group message the other day. They were okay. They're nothing like their dad jokes, but I'm excited to have Matt on the show. He does have a personality like we just saw a moment ago. Guys, look at this. If you know when you see a picture like this, that this guy's got personality for days. His cat's got tons of personalities too. But I'm going to tell you what's the most personality in this picture is that sweater. Woo! That sweater is so gangster right now.
I'm so jealous.
But yes, folks, I want you to know right now, we need you to share. We need you to share this around. Car guys, car gals, all you folks out there, share. Come on, Solutionaries. We got somebody great inside this freaking cafe today, and I'm pumped up about it. We got the one. We got the only Matt Raymond. What's going on, brother? Welcome to the show.
What's up, Matt?
Hey, guys. How are you?
Oh, doing all right.
Super pumped up, man. I'm excited to have you on the show because I just keep hearing about this personality. So, you got, a little pressure on you to kind of show up and do some things. But I am more excited to hear about your information, about your experiences, about marketing and how to really make sure that it is uniform across and that everybody in every department knows what's going on. Pumped up to have you here, Matt. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks for having me. Hey, Brad, I know you threw out my dad joke things there. I know you got a new puppy, though, right?
Yeah.
You know where you don't let your puppy go shopping?
Where's that?
The flea market.
That's good. I love it. I'm already bringing it, my friends. Bringing it. Love it. Folks, I'm sure you guys noticed we have one person missing, and it's normally Lou Ramirez sitting right across the way from me. He is feeling under the weather, but he's doing well. Everybody just put some prayers out there. Let him know that we care. Put some messages out here. Send him some DMs. Let him know that we're waiting to see him next time we're on Friday, which we do have a great show coming up in a few weeks too. Be ready for that. But right now, we have Matt. I'm excited to have him. Matter of fact, there's Lou right now.
There he is.
He just put in a little message, cry laughing over right now. That's that picture. I know that he'd be dying right now. Oh, look at the puppy. That's right. So we are all animal lovers here. One's a cat lover, obviously.
I don't own any cats. This goes way back to when I was working at a Toyota store and somebody got the bright idea to Photoshop that picture, and it's kind of almost become a signature of mine now.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yes.
Wait, that didn't you get rid of that cat because it lived in that couch you used to have?
Don't rip that couch.
Was that the Patriots couch?
Matt had a couch that he wouldn't let his wife get rid of because he sat on there when the Patriots won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Against the Atlanta Falcons, though. Let's remember how lucky that couch is.
Yeah. Yeah, we thought about shipping that couch to Patrick O'Brien, but I don't know
gosh.
if he would want it.
They,
Shots fired.
Yeah.
Big time shots fired.
Automotive News reached out and they're like, "Hey, we need a photo for your 40 under 40 award." And I sent them the cat photo and they're like, "Try again."
This is, I'm gonna tell you something. Cats are fun to joke about, but they can be really good animals. I'm a dog guy though, so I gotta say I love dogs. But I think that picture, Matt, just sums up your personality, dude. You're serious. You got the serious look, but yet you can have some fun. You know how to party in that sweater. But that being said, brother, congratulations for everything that you've done. You've been in this industry since 2010. So welcome to the industry. I'm glad you've been doing it for as long as you have. You're talking dozen years now, brother. That's a long time. That's like in dog years and automotive years. That's like living for 90, right? And when you can do something like that, you've been very consistent. You've had a lot of success while you've been in this industry. And what I love the most is when I read your bio is that you said you got into this industry just for a few months, right? I think every one of us probably
does.
I think we all did that, right? And I know I did. I didn't expect it to be a career 20 years in now plus and still rolling, and I don't see an end to it. But, man, congratulations and all that. Tell everybody, where you're currently working. I can tell them, but let's let you tell them.
Yeah, definitely. So I work for Team Auto Group. We're based out of North Carolina. We have 6 dealerships. We say it goes from the coast to the mountains. So we have a couple stores right on the ocean, and they go all the way inland, all the way out to Boone and Morganton, North Carolina, which is pushing the Asheville market area. I've been here since 2018. Kristen had reached out to me then. We had one dealership at the time. It was located in Salisbury, and she said, "Hey, I want to grow the BDC, and I'd like to grow some dealerships, and I'd like you to come on board." And that's, the rest is history. We went from 4 people in a BDC and no service BDC to we have, I think it's 12 sales BDC agents now with a manager and 2 team leaders, and we have 10 service BDC agents with a manager and 2 team leaders, and it's all centralized. We're located just outside of Charlotte now in a corporate office. We pulled call numbers because we switched phone systems, so we needed to know how many calls we were handling through our BDC. We handled 1.5 million calls in a year and a half. Wow. And so we got into that. Like I said, we built a service BDC. And in the last 4 years, we've just done so many different things. We've taken all our marketing in-house. It's been an amazing ride. And now we're at 6 dealerships, and we're looking to purchase more. Our goal is 10 stores in 10 years, and that was set 3 years ago.
Wow.
Nice, man.
That's some phenomenal stuff. Owen, I know you guys have had a relationship for a long time. You want to tap in on that and just, tell people a little bit more about your experience with Matt?
Yeah, so Matt got introduced to me through a mutual friend back at a digital dealer, and I actually thought that he didn't like me. When I first met him, it was like, okay, I don't think we're gonna hit it off, and lo and behold, few extra conversations go by, and next thing you know, we're like, oh man, this is a cool guy. I like him, and I was doing a little business with him as well. So we mixed a little business and friendship as well. But one thing I like about Matt is he likes to look out into the future. And, when we started Fix Ops Digital, I reached out to Matt and I just said, hey, what do you think about this concept, what we're doing, that type of thing. And it was also right around the time that he had moved his family from Pennsylvania to North Carolina. And as he just mentioned, there was one store, no service BDC. And I always like to say, we started Fix Ops Digital, back when everybody was making money selling cars and we didn't have an inventory problem. Right. So the service side of the business was still just the side of the department that paid the bills. But, Matt really embraced what we were doing. And, when we finally, won his team as a client, I knew that we were going to be able to do some really good things with him. So, one of the things that Fix Ops Digital does a little differently than, maybe some of the other, vendors out there or partners out there is that, when we start talking about the service side of the business, a lot of times you are, looking at the Fix Ops directors or the service managers. Well, since we work very heavily on the website and online, we knew there had to be sort of a bridge between the digital team and the service team. And so being that I had, a big background in that, that's something that we've always done a really good job of, is making sure that, that we have that nice synergy between the two. And so Matt was a great ambassador for us, even when he wasn't a client. And, he let his team make the decision. I remember talking to his fixed ops director a couple times, and it didn't really go anywhere. And then finally, we were able to kind of win that business, and now we've really been able to help them kind of streamline some things and that type of thing. So, Matt, tell me a little bit about, kind of that journey, because obviously as a digital guy, you've been really focused on helping sell cars for years. We have these conversations all the time with the digital teams, but what does it take or maybe what are some of the challenges that you have seen out there from somebody that is, hired to help sell cars, hired to move metal, and all of a sudden the shift in the industry happens or in the market happens, and all of a sudden they're like, oh, now I got to be a service marketing guru, or at least get that into my repertoire. What are some of the things that you did to help maybe kind of close that gap a little bit, or more importantly, what kind of advice can you give for people who are still looking to make that some of those moves that their owner or their GM has asked them to do?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Owen's met our fixed ops director, Anthony, and him and I, we went around with, we were both on board with wanting to put in a service BDC, kind of that mentality. We've coined it Anthony's phrase of make the phones ring and the doors swing. And that's what we wanted to do, is create that within the service department. So like Owen talked about, we bring our things to our teams, and we use an entrepreneurial operating system, or EOS as people know it. And so, we're pushing information up and bringing information down and back and forth. And the whole idea was like, I loved it and I was on board, but I also believe in people like Owen and Brad and stuff like that. So it's easier to get bought in real quick. But we wanted to make sure we had everybody in place. And one of the big things with Anthony was wanting to make sure we had a service BDC in, right? Because if we make the phones ring and nobody answers them, we didn't do the customer any services.
Right.
So we got our service BDC in place, and then we brought fixed ops right into place. And I don't want to jump too ahead. I know you guys probably have some questions too, but we brought it in, and we got the coupons on our web, or I hate to use the word coupons, offers on our websites. And we put the same offers in Google My Business. We also take the same offers and put them on Facebook. We take the same offers, we put them in eBlast, and we take the same offers and they're on billboards. So wherever you're seeing that matches. Now, we don't change out our billboards every month. So there's certain offers that we run month in and month out that are more of a branding offer to drive traffic into our dealerships. We took over our Goldsboro store. I remember they were doing roughly, I think it was right around 20, 25 ROs a day. We increased that to over 60 ROs a day. And so we got a brand new building too. We set up the service drive so we can move much faster and get cars in and out on that. So that's how we come together and work together to just, put things in place accordingly.
I love that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And Owen reached out to me because sometimes he'll reach out to me and be like, hey, bro, I got a really good idea on something we want to try. And I'm like, I can't do that right now. And then there's other times he's like, hey, I got a really good idea, and there's something I want to try. And I'm like, let's hear it. And so he brought up the other day, a couple months ago, he asked us to beta test a product. And I hope I'm not giving away any secret stuff here, but the product he asked us to beta test was that when somebody clicked on an offer, it would ask for their information. And I was like, man, why would somebody fill that out? And he's like, no, just can we try it? And I'm like, well, if it can't hurt, could help, let's do it. So we turned it on, and within days, it was like pop, 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 pop. We started getting all these opportunities coming in. We could say leads in auto, but we'll call them opportunities, right? Well, I'm sitting with our BDC manager, and I'm going, what's happening with these conversations? She goes, well, I'm answering the phone or calling these people, and they're going, oh, no, I already scheduled an oil change with so-and-so. And I'm like, wait, so they're clicking on the offer after they scheduled the oil change? And she goes, yeah. And I said, okay, well, ask them why they're clicking on the offer now. So we asked them why. Customers go, well, we just want to make sure we have it in hand. When I walk in, I want to make sure I'm going to get what I saw online.
Right.
Valuable, continue on. So then I said to her, wait a second, what are they predominantly clicking on? And she goes, it's pretty much our oil change offer. We do a pretty aggressive oil change, right? We want to compete with the Valvolines and the Jiffy Lubes and all those other people. And I said, well, why don't we try telling them, thank you for scheduling an oil change. Typically, we don't combine offers, but what we'd like to do, because of you being one of our valued customers, is we want you to be able to combine some offers today. So I'm looking at my offers on the website. I see you click the oil change. Would you like to take advantage of the alignment offer that we have available? Most of our customers, well, your car's already here, get the alignment done. Also, we could throw in a tire rotation offer. And actually, we can even upgrade it. Let me do this. We'll do the tire rotation oil change at the same price and roll forward. And so just little things like that, just selling the sizzle behind the oil change. They started increasing what their services by booking the appointment, right? So it went from an oil change to an oil change tire rotation North Carolina State inspection to an oil change tire rotation North Carolina State inspection alignment. And we revamped the pay plan. We have a really cool pay plan set up for our BDC agents. It's all about just filling capacity. But with all that being said, we turned around and started paying them a percentage of the RO gross at the end of the month. So now you have a buy-in, and you have these BDC agents that are focused on mentioning it, because if Brad comes in for an oil change on his pickup truck, and they talked about an alignment and let's say a mountain balance, because he might think he needs new tires, and they talk about this and that. When the advisor talks to him about the same thing, even though they may not have signed up for it with the BDC rep, now they're hearing it twice. So it's like that the proof is in the pudding, for lack of better terms. But they're hearing that, and they're like, yeah, okay, I'm going to go with it. We had an agent I think it was last month and the month before. She was responsible for $80,000 in RO gross.
Wow. What's interesting about that, Matt, is I've been speaking at some 20 groups this year. And one of the questions that the moderator has asked in every one that I've been in is, how many of you are doing outbound for service? And I would say out of 20 people, like 2 raise their hand, maybe 3, maybe 4 tops, right? So you're talking, 15, 16 people sitting there, with their hands down. It's amazing to me, like you say, well, where's the opportunity as we move forward with service and kind of where we're going with this side of the industry? I believe it's going to be that outbound, right? So to Matt's point, he was able to take a concept that we were testing that has now completely blown up. We've got dealerships generating, hundreds of leads a month, and now they can handle them. And even the ones that can't handle it, like the ones that go, well, we don't do any outbound. Well, now they're looking at the ones that they're getting. And, to Matt's point, if somebody has an oil change offer, and now they go into the scheduler and they have that person scheduled, now they can upsell, right? They can do, because a service person hates the worst is doing one service while they've got their vehicle up on the lift, right? I mean, you only have so much time in a day to make money. Let's package services. Let's bundle services and get, more lines per RO, more opportunity while that customer's there. But even the dealerships that say, well, man, I don't have a service BDC, we're not, prepared to handle it. Let's go after some of those late ownership services, stuff that's going to make you a little more money. Brad, tell me a little bit about that. I mean, when you talk to dealerships as far as late ownership services, what are you seeing out there that, I don't see anybody needs another oil change. What are you kind of hearing out in the streets?
Yeah. So it's very interesting. Matt and I haven't got to talk for a couple. We text probably every week, but he hadn't told me this. So this is the first time I'm hearing this in person, right? Of what they're doing in their BDC. And so my brain's going 100 miles an hour thinking, okay, now you're taking the pressure off of your service advisors because you're teeing them up. And so how do most people buy things, right? They hear it 2 or 3 times, right? How many touch points? So it's adding another touch point, and you're showing interest because you're making sure that you're selling safety through a service BDC person. So then what happens, and they come in and that service advisor says the same exact thing. Well, then you have consistency. Then you get a lot more of those late ownership things. So it's kind of like, I equate it to like whenever you're selling a car, Matt and I both have been BDC directors, and whenever you're selling the car, you show accessories and you show warranty stuff and you show, the road guard stuff to where you, and the door ding things, and you show all of that stuff, right? When you're doing the vehicle presentation, you don't talk about it when they come in for the service drive and they only have one thing scheduled, right? And so it's being very proactive. So I love that I love that strategy, and I wouldn't expect anything less from a guy like Matt, who's a CRM guru and a script, really good at doing that kind of stuff. I'm wondering if he stole the idea from Stacey Ellison, but
if there's anybody I talk to more than Brad, it's Stacey.
Yeah. So if you guys don't know her, she's probably the hands down the best CRM person on the planet.
Wow.
But
That's
she's
strong.
from West Virginia, so
Love it.
she's a little crazy. And then the second thing that came to mind is in order to pass a North Carolina state inspection, how many square feet of duct tape do you have to have on the car? So that was my second thing that popped into my head, because I'm like, oh, there has to be a level of duct tape in North Carolina. So I think it's great, and I think that those things that's called extreme buy-in, right? He's getting feedback. He's using a product, whether it's our product or any product. He's using a product, and he's doing extreme buy-in to make the product work for him. And I think that's beautiful, because at the end of the day, our job is to scale relationships with technology. And you can't tell me that person that had that conversation with that person and came in and they got all that stuff, you can't tell me that they're not happy.
Amen.
Because you took time to talk to them and save them a little bit of money.
Yeah, and educate them. I think that the biggest fault of all dealerships out there, most dealerships, shouldn't say all, I'm sorry, most dealerships out there, is that they don't let the community know that they have these services available, for one, and that they're affordable. We're not going to come at you. We're going to actually give you a better deal, because we're trying to get you into our dealerships all the time. So if there's a better time than now, I don't know when. Right now is the best time for people to come to dealerships, because we want to become their all-around car, everything. Tires, brakes, accessories, whatever it is, come into the service department. We got you. But our fault is that we don't explain that to them enough. Our message isn't uniform across the board. And I love what you're talking about here. There's a lot of great comments. I want to jump in really quick just to say hi to some people. We got a guy from North Carolina. I love this guy, Christopher Becker. He says North Carolina in the house. That's right.
Great. Yeah, I'm never selling him now. Jesus.
Because y'all are doing a great job. We got Daryl Evans saying Venture Automotive in the house.
Yeah.
We got Cindy Zeba. What's going on? Hey, y'all. Hey,
What's up, Cindy?
We got to say that the Eagles are terrible.
I
knew it was coming.
That's what she writes, right? You knew that was coming.
Hey,
we actually have a question.
If you're a Vikings fan like Owen, if you remove the last 2 minutes of every game last year, the Vikings would have went 15-2.
Yeah.
Don't even get me started.
Yeah,
man, what a unique season was last year, though. But getting back to that. But hey, Max Lopez says, "Hey, I am a digital marketing manager at a dealership. My biggest issue is lead conversion. What should lead conversion be in percentage?"
I hope he's talking about. I don't know if he's talking about sales or service, Max. Matt is a really good resource when you're talking about lead conversions on the sales side of stuff.
Sure.
I got to assume that he's talking about that side of it.
Okay.
Because there's not a lot of places that track service lead conversion.
I know on our service side of things with regards to our BDC, I have not seen a show rate based upon appointments set by our service BDC of lower than 85%.
Right. Wow.
And I was so our BDC manager, she does a phenomenal job of tracking a lot of data for me. And so I had just pulled up some numbers while we were talking. I want to circle back around. I think it was Brad that said something about outbound campaigns, right? So our BDC agents are tasked with making outbound campaigns every day. We build different types of outbound campaigns within our solutions that we use. And we just keep track of, we're like the Major League Baseball. We keep track of some wonky stats just to
Moneyball.
Well, because everybody in an organization will hit some weird stats, right?
Sure.
And in BDC, they love to be pumped up. So our most outbound calls by an agent in 1 month was 2,700 phone calls.
Wow.
And that's outbound only. That doesn't count whatever she took inbound. Most appointments set by a BDC agent in one day was 62. The record for most appointments in a month was 505. We ask our BDC agents to come in and do a job, and they do. Every day they show up and perform. I can't take credit for it. I just come out with the wacky, crazy ideas from time to time based upon talking to guys like Owen and Brad. And then I go downstairs and I'm like, hey, I got a great idea. And I get some, and they do it and they nail it, And if it doesn't work, they're the first ones. We believe in radical candor in the company, right? We're going to come out and we're going to say how, hey, Matt, this fell flat on its face and here's why. And I have to suck up my feelings and say, yeah, it probably wasn't the best idea, or whatever it might be. But yeah, that's that's where we're at. We track their appointments per day. We track their appointments per week. We track their appointments per month, highest RO per month per agent, whatever it might be, because these are all different stats that we get to praise them for at the end of every month. These are the things that we lift them for throughout the month or at the end of the month.
Well, one thing you mentioned, Matt, that kind of ties into this, right, is the consistency side, right? Having your offers on your website. It's not like you guys just do break services on Tuesdays, right? I mean, you'll do a break service any day. So let's make sure that the customer knows that. But when you have those offers on your website, when you have a great break service or alignment page integrated into your website, now your BDC reps can use those resources when they're actually talking to customers, right? They can have validity. They can, if you're putting out a piece of an email marketing campaign and, your price is different than what's on your website, and then take it even a step further, you go into the scheduler and now the scheduler has a different price. Well, you've instantly lost credibility with those customers. So, the idea is that you want to have consistency across the board. So let's make sure that we're letting customers know that, hey, this is what the cost of that service is, not, hey, it's $10 off or 10% off, because no one really knows what that means. But then let's make sure that your digital marketing strategies are aligned and that your schedulers aligned. When all that come together, you take a situation that a customer is in where they don't want to spend money on service anyways, and now at least you've made it a better experience because there's validity, there's consistency, and talk about getting buy-in. That's how you get the buy-in from your BDC reps, when they can go there and see all that for themselves. And now they can use those resources when they're having that conversation with Mr. and Mrs. Customer. Absolutely. Because they believe in what they're actually talking about. And I think that can go a long way. And the customer feels that, right? I mean, let's be honest. I've been sold many things over the phone, and I've turned down many sales over the phone. When the customer or the sales rep is genuine, you're more apt to do business with them. And I think that's part of it is looking on your website and knowing that what you're saying is real. So
I think Max was talking about sales, Max. So if you want to reach out, Max, to Matt or myself, my wife's a BDC manager that does an excellent job. We can give you some help there on the sales side of stuff. We're not one-dimensional over at Fix Stop, so we can help with the sales sides too. So if you have some questions, we're more than happy to connect you with some people.
And not to divert off service here, but Max, the one thing I'll say to you on sales is that you're going to get a lot of your GMs and GSMs are like, what's my sold to lead percentage? That's what they want to hear, but you got to go way back. You got to grab your leads and you got to figure out what your contact rate is first. Because if your contact rate isn't there, everything else doesn't matter after that. So you want to get your contact rate in place, then go from your contact rate to your set rate. And from your set rate, you want to go to, we do warm confirmations right there. If I make an appointment with Brad, we hand the phone to a manager, they confirm it, confirmation to show rate. And then you'll naturally see your lead to show roll up. And I think it was, who was it the other day? Jonathan Dawson said something about stop calling them confirmations and start calling them congratulations. Because confirming is saying, hey, I want to confirm your appointment. And they're like, well, you don't believe I'm going to come in, versus saying, hey, congratulations. I see you found a perfect vehicle on our lot and you're looking to come in and take a look at it. And it's just words are powerful. Words are absolutely powerful. So Max, if we can help, definitely here to help out in any way possible. But I think there's just a couple tweaks you got to make and you'll see your leads percentage come up. But we hover in. Some of our stores are upwards of 20% right now. Typically hover in that 15 16% range on an average.
That's pretty strong.
Way to rip off my tagline on my own show. Thanks.
Brad, the show was about me. I thought you had like
This is the Matt Raymond show, everybody.
yeah, I know. Weren't you playing Fortnite like 30 minutes ago, and then all of a sudden,
I love it.
You know what though? I smashed Mac Davenport. So that's all that matters.
That's right. As long as you're beating the Chevy dude, you're good, man. Love it.
So Matt, I got a question for you. Is kind of just for anybody that has multiple stores kind of in the same area. I know obviously you've got dealerships in other cities and things like that. Do you have a consistent pricing strategy when it comes to service? Like, for example, you know, since you have mainly, you know, Chevy in all your brands, I know you've diversified a little bit. You know, is your oil change price the same in Salisbury as it is in Goldsboro, or does it kind of vary by market? You know, just in the fact that it is a little different area.
No, everything with those type of services across the board are pretty much the same. There's certain specials we run across the board because we run them through Facebook. We put them on billboards, spread them out that way. Now, I'm not going to say if you came in for some, I don't know, let's say it's hard to say because depending on the vehicles and stuff, certain things can vary on time, but like oil changes, tire rotations, alignments, all that stuff. All the specials I send Guy every month, those are consistent across the board of all the stores.
Perfect. Yeah, no, that makes sense. I was just curious. I know that everyone has little different strategies on that, but being that you're not in the same city, I could have seen it going either way. So good information.
This is fantastic information. And I think we're touching a lot of great points. I like that we talked about the transition of service marketing to digital, which is a big deal, right? And I think that can be really crucial for a lot of the smaller stores out there. You're with a big group. What kind of tips would you give smaller stores on how to transition to being more digital in their online marketing for service marketing?
So I came out of a kind of a brag thing here with a friend of mine and an idea that we had one time, but I worked for a Toyota store up in Northeast Pennsylvania. And we were trying to drive some more service business. And so my buddy Tim and I got on the call one day and I said, man, we got to get more service business. And he's like, well, what generates a really good revenue for you guys? I said, man, I'd like to get some of those frame recalls. And I said, what would drive people in with the frame recalls? And he goes, what about if we did like an oil change offer? And I'm like, yeah. So we did a $9.95 overstock on oil filter postcard. And we sent a 40-mile radius. We sent about 1,500 postcards out to people that would possibly own a Tacoma, a Sequoia, and a 4Runner at the time. We sent it out to like a 40-mile radius, 1,550 people, I think, to be exact. It was $1 postcard. And we ended up pulling in a significant number of frame recalls because people showed up and said, hey, is this real? And we're like, yeah, absolutely. $9.95 oil change. We're like, holy cow. We'd lift that truck up and we'd tap on the frame. And when it failed for the frame, we would file for the frame recall. And that was it's just thinking outside the box. So if they're a small dealer, it's just thinking outside the box, right? What is going to cause somebody to not want to take it to their local buddy down the street to do an oil change? You know, at the end of the day, people actually try to make a profit on oil changes, and you're better off making it your price leader because the reality of it all is we know Brad Paschal doesn't like to get dirty and he doesn't want to lay on his back in the hot Texas sun and do an oil change on his wife's car. But if the price is right, you know, maybe he'd just bring it in and let us do the oil change. Once it's there, right? The whole idea is to get the cars into the shop because once they're into the shop, that's when you get the chance. You've got a captive audience and you can talk to them about other things that they need.
Well, not to mention now you got a vehicle sitting there that they might be ready to trade that, you know, and I know that's not really what a service person loves, although they're going to get the internal work as they, you know, kind of get it ready for that trade to get out to the customers or to the market again. But, you know, the reality is we are dealing with that. Some of the best dealerships that I know are getting a lot of their trades through the service drive. And so I tell you right now, if you have nothing in your service drive or you're not taking advantage of even loss leader, you know, break even services, you're not having those conversations with customers. And so I know we have to make money. Obviously, profit's not a bad word. And it's something that we definitely need to, especially on the service side, as we have dealt with some inventory challenges. It's definitely become more of a focus. But the idea is like, let's get them in the drive. Let's have those conversations. Let's see where their head's at. Obviously, to Matt's point, you can do other diagnostics and find out if there's additional things that need to get done. Because I think at the end of the day, consumers just want to know that they're going to leave driving a safe vehicle for their family. And I think that's, that's important. And when you present all of those opportunities for the customer and they say no, you've done all you can. Now you have to, now hopefully they're going to say yes, or they're going to say, hey, let's get that done because I'm here and I can I want to make sure that I leave, with a safe vehicle for my family, that type of thing. So
I got a question for you, Matt. Okay, because I saw Terry Torline just drop this in.
Yeah, he did.
And Terry's a fantastic guy. If you haven't
love Terry,
he's like a big, lovable Sasquatch.
He's huge.
We've never seen Terry Torline. He's fantastic, and he's great.
Can't miss him if you've seen him. He's a good dude.
Great guy. And he does a daily recap of our group chat called Totes, and it's fantastic. It's the highlight of my day, except when Matt calls me. So what Terry does is he sells different service contracts and warranties and stuff like that. So have you incorporated that kind of stuff into the service department? Because it seems like a lot of those financial things that you would talk about in finance have started to bleed over into the service department and selling those warranties to try to, and you even have stuff like Sunbit and Dignify and financing and stuff like that in the service departments. What strategies do you guys have in place right now for that kind of stuff? Because those are all hot topics right now.
That's a great question.
That was the next thing on my list was Sunbit. We talk about Sunbit with the advisors talk about it to the consumer, and our BDC agents even talk about it with the consumers because we use Xtime. So in Xtime, you have like, hey, this is what's recommended. This is what most people do. And this is like the optimum service. And they'll, like I said, the BDC agents will talk about this and look at talking it up. And if the person's like, man, how much does that cost? And they're like, well, it's going to be $575. Like, oh, I don't have the money. Oh, no problem. We have actually a credit card program where you can talk with the advisor about, but they can look at actually breaking that on the monthly payment for you, easy and affordable, and roll on. We do that. Our service advisors will even talk to them about extended contracts. I know they'll bring out a finance manager to look at bringing out their extended contract. I won't drop any of the names of the companies we use, but we have some really good rapport with those companies that we use that sell extended contracts and stuff like that. And
what's amazing about Sunbit is that when I was talking to them, because we obviously, Matt, we integrated with them. So all of our offers on the website, will pop in a payment, right? So anything over $60, it'll be like, oh, it's $8.90 a month and that type of thing. But one of the things that really stood out to me, and Matt, maybe you're seeing some of this as well. They were telling me a lot of the challenges that they had with dealerships at the time was when that was being offered, right? It was being offered at the wrong time. It was being offered when when there was friction, and obviously friction's never good in a relationship. So, they're here for an oil change. They find out they've got another $300 worth of services. And next thing you know, they're saying, oh, well, we've got this financing company that we can use. Well, by then there's a lot of friction there. So what we tried to do is really eliminate some of that friction by pre-marketing it. And so I know Matt, we won't get into numbers, but Matt called me about 75 days into utilizing them. And I couldn't believe the amount of not only the pre-approvals that you were getting, but the amount of work that you were driving through utilizing, their platform. So, continue on. I just want to kind of preface a little bit about kind of what I saw from that. So,
yeah, I mean, so if you look at some of our demographics and where some of our stores are, I mean, North Carolina does not rank in income levels like some of these other states do in America, right? We've got stores that are in the Raleigh market or just outside the Raleigh market, I should say, but the average income, ranks one of them is really bad, but it's like in $30,000 household income. We've got our highest stores at a $45,000 income, rank. Well, if you go in and you need $1,000 worth of work, we all know simple math, right? That tells us that's a good chunk of change for them. And so when we're able to talk about Sunbit to them and allow them to be able to finance some of these major repairs and keep their vehicle on the road longer and stuff, it's a no-brainer, and the customers take advantage of it. You know, it's a great opportunity for them to take advantage of it, get the work done, and then break it out over, you know, either 0% interest or, you know, whatever rate they've qualified for.
Well, you're giving them options, right?
Right.
You fix a car, you can find another car, right? You can pay it out, you can pay it all at once, right? Everywhere else we go, we have options, right? You go on Amazon, search on Amazon, you have options and transparent pricing.
Yep.
That's the biggest thing that we don't do is we don't set up our service departments for success like we do our sales departments. And we don't take the same perspective and apply it to the sales department. If you have 100 cars on your website and 10 are missing, you're going to be, the general manager is going to be pissed, you know? So you're going to be real pissed. But how many services do you do? And how many of those aren't on your website? Why are you not equally as pissed? If you're not equally as pissed, then there's something wrong. You're not applying the same strategic mindset to your dealership. And I think that's so important. And so what we're trying to do, which I'm sure you guys saw, I recently got promoted to the VP of digital marketing for Fix Ops. So what we're trying to do is give service department the ability to advertise every place that sales has now dynamically. So Amazon, Facebook, Google, local awareness ads, OTT. That's what we're trying to set it up for, because forever we had to rely on two things: shitty emails and direct mail, right? That's it. That's all we had. That's everybody out there. That's all they do is direct mail and this, and you have to buy a list and you have to do this. But people are done with that. So we have to evolve that. So I think one of the things that Matt's so great at is taking his mindset on the sell side and applying that to the service side. And that's why you see him come up with ideas like this in the service BDC. And that's why you see him, because everybody on this came from the sales side of stuff, right? They're all four of us. Yeah, came from the sales side of things. So
I agree.
I think that's the biggest thing that you get with us, that you get with our company, is that, and that why we work so well with guys like Matt is because we're able to take those surgical strategies that we've had on the sell side of stuff for forever and apply those to the service side. And it's not even that hard. It's just really not that hard. It's just executing on those things.
And that's the biggest thing. I don't like to complicate things, right? Like we're all in different automotive groups, right? And we see people like ask these questions, and I'm like, that's cool that you want to build that report, but does that sell you any more cars, or does that help your service department? You know, at the end of the day, like, everybody's time is money, right? And it seems like we have less and less time with our family and more time plugged into useless stuff. I mean, it's just, you know,
like peanut butter and jelly beers y'all send each other. You know?
But at the end, I got a brother who sends me TikTok videos like all day long. I'm not even on TikTok. I'm like, bro, I don't have time for this, you know. But at the end of the day, we can just simplify it, right? Is it easy for the customer to see what they need, whether it's sales or service? Can they easily click on it or get to it or call to it or whatever they got to do? And, you know, when we answer the phone, are we talking to them like, you know, I still believe people want to talk, whether it's text or call, but at the end of the day, like, just be a human. I mean, people just want to deal with a human.
You know, and I'm to touch on all what you guys are talking about, because this has been some fantastic stuff. And I hope you guys out there, all you solutionaries, are taking notes, because it's the little things. But I want to point out something big that we touched, but we didn't really bring up too deep. And it kind of touched on it earlier, is the fact that being able to get financing for your services at a dealership is something that people don't know. And that needs to be talked about. So if you have that available at your store, let them know. I love that you guys have the widgets that you're trying to show, like on display, showing, hey, this is going to be this much a month for you to get this fixed. This is how much for anything that's in that price range. That is big deal, because in today's world, because, you know, we go back to our grandparents, they pay cash for everything, even their homes. They could. It was affordable to do that. These days, nothing is like that. You can't, people paying cash for cars is becoming less and less and less. Financing of 84 months or more are happening right now, right? So what do you think service parts and all those things that we do, those are going up too, not because we want to make it more expensive, because cost of living is more expensive today. So them knowing that, hey, I can actually finance my engine being replaced. I can actually finance my water pump getting replaced. I can actually get my tires that I've been riding bald because I don't have the cash right now. I can go in there and I can actually make $50 a month payments if I go in here and I deal with a great dealership that has these available. What we do know, and one thing that is true out there with a lot of consumers, we know that places outside of dealerships have had financing available for people to come in and do that kind of service, tires and brakes. I've seen that, right? But I've never seen that at dealerships often. Usually you have to go somewhere else. So I think educating them, showing that on your website, putting it out there, using social, marketing that's a big marketing thing. I think that's a big deal. Like I just don't know why my head just wrapped around that, but I was like, man, that's like a big deal for customers. A lot of customers out there that can't afford the services, or they end up junking cars, or they don't pay their payments because their car broke down, right? Because they're like, I can't afford the car payment and to drop $2,000 to fix this motor. Right. So there's options, and you guys have those, and you have solutions. And I love that. I mean, this is really cool stuff, folks. I hope you guys are listening to this. And even you people out there who are not in automotive, but need service on your vehicle, there's options out there. Reach out to one of us. We'll help you be able to figure out a way to do that.
Here's the other thing. If you're not in automotive, look at how you can combine this. I had this conversation the other day with Kristen. They're just up the street from us. The area I'm in is just blowing up like crazy with homes. They've got approvals to build 2,200 homes, right? It's going to be probably one company that comes in and builds this, right? 2,200 homes. But then after they're done, they throw their hands up and they're gone. If I was that right now, if I was that home builder, I'd be partnering with 3 or 4 plumbing companies and 3 or 4 electric companies and saying, you need to prioritize these houses, and I'm going to sell you extended contracts when you purchase your home. Everybody does like this home warranty for 1 year. What about if you did a 5-year warranty on the home?
Powerful.
And it's transferable. So if you move, you just leave it with that house.
Yeah.
So
It should go with the house. Definitely.
Then it goes with the house, because right now it's been hotter than the hinges of heck over here in North Carolina, and people are running their ACs. They're freezing up. They're backing up. They're whatever else is going on. But can you imagine if you actually sold a home warranty and the person goes, it's 95 degrees. Yep. Great. And these HVAC companies maybe get a percentage of these contracts. And I know I'm completely off automotive now, but at the end of the day, cell phone companies sell extended warranties because you want you to come back to their company when you do something stupid and you're making a TikTok like Brad does, and you drop your phone in the ice cream maker at Chick-fil-A. They want you to come back and get that fixed.
Stacey's going to be very proud of you.
I know. I got Chick-fil-A in there. I'll just say PBR and cover all bases, right?
God's chicken.
Gigs at me and a couple of Chick-fil-A's. And I think, that's the beauty of like reinsurance accounts, right? Where you can create this stuff. Mm-hmm. You can create whatever warranty you want now, right? You can create whatever maintenance plan you want now. So because of reinsurance.
So in automotive, we've got to do the same thing, right? We've got to, there's so many negative things out there. When I worked for Toyota, people used to say it all the time in finance. They would say, I don't buy extended warranties. That's why I'm buying a Toyota. Well, you see that building over there? Yep. That's full of broken Toyotas. I don't know what to tell you, folks. At the end of the day, we've got to sell the reasons why they need it, right? Yeah. And if people understand that they can incorporate a monthly payment into their lives.
Short term, too. It's not like it's forever. It's just short term.
Short term. Yeah. Whether it's with something like Sunbit or even before when they buy the car, right? Because we want to sell these service contracts because we want them to keep coming back. And folks, listen, would you rather pay $20 a month extra in your payment to know that if anything ever goes wrong, you bring your car to us? Or would you rather just assume that you're going to have that money? Because I can promise you're not going to have that money because you're going to spend it on something else. You're going to be like Brad Paschal. You're going to go out and get the Planet Fitness Black membership and never use it except for pizza. People are like, never have this guy on again.
He's saying that, but Brad's down 63 pounds in the last year and a half. So
heck yeah, dude, that's what I'm talking about.
That's what he's trying to say.
Isn't that the equivalent of throwing a chair off the Titanic?
Yeah, it's true. True.
Man, solutionaries and all you out there, I mean, you guys have to be getting something from this. This is fantastic information. Matt, you're phenomenal, man. I love your personality for one. Once again, you got to have a personality. I got to show this one more time for all y'all who just jumped in. Look at this picture. I'm just saying, you have to have a personality to take that picture, right? But he brings it, but he also has intelligence with that personality, and he's out here laying it out for you out there who want to learn how to do your marketing for your service, man. Online marketing for service is so huge right now, and it's the future. And I could tell you who's got their thumb and they're right on the pulse of it all right now, and that's FixOps Digital. And FixOps Digital is out there figuring out ways to help dealers combine their digital side of marketing their service department and being able to do it easy for you, uniform, so that all your messaging is the same. It's on demand. It's when you want it. Matt, I got to ask you that. Teaming up with, I'm just going to go straight with it. Teaming up with FixOps Digital, what has that done for your business?
Excuse me. It's provided us more opportunities with the regards to our service BDC and having people to be able to contact, because we've never heard of leads in the service department, right? So now we have those opportunities to reach out to and contact. It's also provided a lot more transparency when consumers come in. They're bringing the coupon or offers in on their phone. I hate that word coupon. I got to eliminate it out of my vocabulary. They're bringing the offers in on their phones. They're showing them to us on their phones, and they're coming in because of that. I mean, some of the offers that we run are stupid aggressive to the point other dealers are like, you're losing money. Yeah. But guess what? They're not in your service drive while you're telling me that. They're in our service drive while you're telling us that. So, that's what dealers need to focus on. They need to focus on delivering a great customer experience. And like I said, we have FixOps. They take a lot of weight off my shoulders, to be quite honest. I'll be honest. I mean, the quality of pages that they build, plus they're building videos for us. They're putting the videos on the YouTube, and they run some stuff on Google My Business for us too. And it frees me up to then work on other parts of the business. And I know we're getting a good quality product out of it. Plus Brad and I go back and forth. I'll pick at him all the time, but he's on top of his game when it comes to knowing what's going on in the world of SEO and things like that. And so I know that I've got the smartest team there helping out. So
I got one more question for you. Did you ever give that old lady her cat back that you borrowed for that picture?
Man, Matt, obviously, we only want to work with dealers that are progressive and that understand the importance of like what we're doing, right? That's what makes a perfect partnership. If I'm trying to sell you every day and like why you need to put, transparent pricing on your offers and why you need to have more services on your website, and, it's going to be a short relationship anyways. And so, we've been very blessed. We started this thing in 2018, and, we've been the leaders in the space. We've grown to, I think yesterday we looked, it was 744 clients, and we're pushing towards 1,000. We've got some awesome things coming. Our summers are usually a little quiet because we're developing. We've got things kind of happening, and then we're getting ready for this big fall push with all the conferences and things like that. But what doesn't change is we still got to do business during the summer months. And so having great groups like Matt's group, having large dealer groups that we work with, it's made us better as a company. And we're the kind of company that wants to get better. So we're all ears when we listen to, guys like Matt, or even, Anthony, his FixOps director is great. I mean, he's smart. I love having those conversations with him over when I see him in person and we're having beers, it's having a couple beers and talking. I walk out of that smarter myself, because that's ultimately what we're trying to do, is just provide a better product, a better solution set, better technology that's going to try to drive us to the next level. And so, Matt, I know we're pretty much coming up here on time, but I got one last question, and can kind of just keep it quick if you can. But what's next? Like, where do you see service marketing going? Where do you see service departments going? Obviously, we've woken a sleeping giant here the last 4 years. But what do you think's next? What's the one thing that you could probably pinpoint?
We don't know what the future of auto sales are. I firmly believe they're going to stay around, even though people believe the franchises or the franchise model is going to go away. The OEMs are going to come in and scoop it up. At the end of the day, good luck getting a phone call at 6:00 in the morning there, OEM, on why their wiper blades don't work, and they're all ticked off. But service is forever, right? People, when the economy gets tight, people might not buy another car, but they need to keep that car they've got running. Some fun stats, Owen, right? 16,658 new car dealers, I think, in America right now, roughly, give or take, by Google over here. You guys have 700 and something of them. The problem is that you should have 16,000 of them because everybody needs to be on a program.
That's our mission.
and there's 142,547 used car dealers. And guess what? I mean, I know they all don't have service centers either, but if you do have a service center and you're a used car dealer, you need it too, because you need people coming back.
That's right.
The days of, sell it and forget about them is gone. You need those people coming back. People want to have a place they can trust. They want to have a place to bring their cars. It is what it is. I mean, I feel like I should hold a little lion up over the edge of a cliff in the circle of life, but that's what it needs to be. Right?
It's the circle. I love it. I love what's going on. I love this folks. And you guys heard that. I mean, you heard it from a guy that's been doing this for a long time, who's doing it proficiently and sees firsthand how this stuff works. Every dealership should be out there using Fix Ops Digital, or at least something like it. But Fix Ops Digital is the way to go. They're the most progressive. They're the ones who will work with you hand in hand and make sure that it's catered and tailored to exactly what you need for your dealership. Not what they think you need, but what you actually need, right? The stuff from stats and looking at all the statistics and looking at the data and making sure that it is set up for you. I love what you guys are talking about. Fix Ops Digital. They are crushing the game. Just got to go to fixopdigital.com. You guys can reach out to them, or you could just DM them both. I tell you, Brad's always aggressive. He's happy to help you out. He'll answer any question you have. Owen, man, he's there. He's a leader that loves to help others and help others grow, most importantly, right? So I'm pumped up about that. Matt, you're phenomenal, bro. Thanks for coming in here. Thanks for sharing all those amazing stories and explaining how this works and how it can actually benefit customers. But one thing I take away, folks, I want you to hear this one more time, is that if you need help, there's ways. Go to a dealership. The place you bought your car from, they'll take care of you. They just find them and just sit down with them. You'll be surprised at the services they have. Maybe they are not doing with this. If you have a dealership that is not advertising and using their and doing it the right way, you need to call them and tell them, hey, I know Fix Up Digital. They can help you. So make sure you guys do that. I'm excited. You got anything to say before we got here, Owen and Brad?
Yeah.
No, man. One last thing I'll just say is that obviously you guys can see my new studio. Super excited about it. This is a first time. So a little bit of first this week. The other first is Brad kind of spilled it a little bit, but congratulations, Brad, our new vice president of digital marketing. We had this mission to move this a while ago, and we decided to kind of wait until we got towards the end of summer. And I think the future for Fix Ops Digital and for our dealerships and the type of services that we're going to be able to continue to provide for them and even grow some additional services is coming. And we're ready, we're poised, and we're excited for it. So first off, Matt, thank you so much for joining us. Obviously, when I asked you to be on the show, I knew that not only was I going to enjoy the show, but it was going to be some great info for the viewers. Brad, congrats on your new role with us. And obviously we love having you aboard. And Fred, as always, enjoy the time spent here. And with that, that's all I got to say. Everybody have a great weekend from me anyways.
Yeah, I got one more thing. Don't forget, I don't know, Fred, are y'all going to SodaCon?
I am going to be there, and I'll be hosting.
All right. So Fred will be at a SodaCon. Owen and I will be there.
Absolutely.
And then we'll be out at Digital Dealer and driving sales. So we'll be out there, Digital Dealer driving sales. And then we'll be back to Vegas in December for the Mopar Parts and Service Conference. So
I'll see you there too, man. We're going to be all over the place. Be looking for us.
We're going to be all over. So if you need anything at all, come say hi. Reach out. Even if you just want to shake hands or tell us you watch a show or have an idea or something that we can do. Matt needs as many ideas as he can get. So that's why he calls us so much.
Hey, Fred, one more thing though. Like, we all got on here and we collaborate, right? Yeah. And dealers that are listening to this, get your people involved, have them collaborate, talk about ideas. Everybody's so afraid of somebody stealing an idea. Just Googled another stat, right? 284 million vehicles on the road. There's enough collaboration that can happen that everybody can have their fair share, and that's
12 plus years.
Oh, Matt, let's drop one more thing that we did. So Matt and I were talking one day, and they brought a lot of stuff in house at their dealership, right? And so this is something that I don't think it's ever been done before in automotive. But Matt and I decided that he was going to invite all his vendors on an interview panel. and they were hiring for a marketing person. And so if you're a general manager or you're a general sales manager, service manager, and you're looking for people, invite your people that have specializations in those different places, and do panel interviews like that. And it made the process a lot easier for him. And when he ended up getting a really, 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 really good person out of it.
Wow.
So that was something that that's the type of collaborate, has nothing to do with fix ops, but that's the type of collaboration that we do on a regular basis. So.
I love that. And that's what I'm talking about. Finding ways to be creative and thinking outside the box, different perspectives, different angles, how we can manage and grow and hire and fire, all those things. It's so important to do that. And I love that you did that. That's congratulations to you guys. Brad, big ups to you, bro. Congrats to you on your promotion. Owen, man, way to go. 700 plus now. You're going to be hitting that 1,000 by the end of this year. I already know it. That's how fast you guys are growing with the product that you have. It's phenomenal. And Matt, congratulations on all your success over the last dozen years, man. I'm looking forward to watching the next dozen with you. There's going to be some great things happening. Keep growing, my friends. Folks, you guys know the deal. Before we get out of here, we got to forgive, focus, and fly. And then we can roll out of here, right? So on the count of 3, now, Matt, if you've never seen it, this is forgive, this is focus, and this is fly. We're going to do it together. So we forgive, focus, and fly. On the count of 3, we're going to do it, and then we're going to get out of here and go enjoy our weekends. You guys have some fun. Thank you all for joining us today. Here we go. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Forgive, focus, fly, and keep growing, keep growing. We love you all. You guys be blessed. Have a great week, and let's go.
Awesome.